So you find this available job online and you go through the job description and you meet all the requirements or almost all the requirements and you believe you're a good fit. So you compose your cover letter and you send the cover letter along with your resume. You also find other similar jobs with your interest and you repeat the same process of job description, cover letter, and sending your resume. And few days later or few weeks later, you get rejection emails. Thank you for interviewing with us, but, but, there are a lot of buts. What do you do after you get rejection emails? One thing you can do is to move on. You could maybe cry or talk to a friend or feel bad or tell yourself it's their loss and you just move on and continue with your applications. But another thing you can do, which I'll be focusing on for the rest of this video, is after getting rejection emails, ask for feedback. Hello, my name is Dillion. If this is your first time here on my YouTube channel, I share my tech career experiences and my life experiences. I share tips that I believe are beneficial. So if you're interested in all of these things as you're watching, kindly hit that subscribe button. Rejection emails. Rejection emails can be hurtful, they can be terrifying. People have different coping mechanisms. So for some people, when they see rejection emails, they're like, nah, whatever, I'll move on. There are other companies out there are many fishes in the river. And there are some of those job applications you make where you feel like you align so much with their vision, you have the required skills, and you get a rejection email and it can be hurtful. At least in my case, there were some rejection emails. I'm like, whatever. There were some that I felt like I really had a big shot at this. But one thing that has really helped me in my tech career journey is asking for feedback. And before I go further to share my story or to share my experience asking for feedback, I want to state two disclaimers. The first disclaimer is that there are some rejection emails that you cannot reply to. And some of these rejection emails, they would have the author as not reply or not reply to, something along those lines, like not reply at company.com. And usually those emails are generated, they're like automated responses from the computer. So if you send a response or you send a reply there, you most likely get nothing back. So if you want to request for feedback or ask questions, you want to ensure that the emails are maybe human names or maybe something like support at company.com. Definitely not an email name starting with not reply. That's the first disclaimer. The second disclaimer is that not every company would respond to your reply on their rejection email. Maybe the company doesn't have time, maybe the recruiters don't care, or maybe they don't just expect you to send an email to them. There can be different reasons. So, not all of them would respond to you, but for the few ones that respond to you, it can really be great having such response. With those disclaimers out of the way, I can go further to share my experience. Like I said, asking for feedback is something that has really helped me in my journey or in my application process. One thing with application process is whenever you get rejections, there are so many reasons going on in your head. Some may be true, some may be false. For example, you may think you are not good enough, and that may be true. You are probably not good enough and you have so many ways to improve. But some of the times you may be wrong and it may be for different reasons. Asking for feedback in my own case has actually helped me feel better in some cases because I get to realize that it's not actually my fault, it's not actually based on my skills that these decisions were made. And apart from making me feel better, it has also helped me know where to grow. Like, asking for responses, knowing where exactly you messed up and something that you did that wasn't pleasing. Whenever you get responses on such kind of questions, at least in my case, it also helps me conscious and more strategic of how I'm going to apply for my next job. Because now I know, okay, I need to do this better or I need to do that better. My first job that I got was I got this rejection email and then I asked for feedback And I also was persistent trying to prove myself. And this was what got me my first full time job. And you can check out this video, which I'll leave somewhere around here. You can check out that video where I really added more information and I shared my story. Now, in my experience, I want to give some examples of responses that I have gotten after replying to rejection emails. There are some rejection emails I've gotten where I'm like, thank you so much for sending this update of my application status. If you mind sharing, I would love to know why I got rejected. What did the other applicants do better than me? And sometimes they tell me your projects were actually great. Your profile, your resume was actually nice, but currently we're looking to hire in the US and in the Europe. Hearing such feedback makes me feel better because yes, I may actually not be very good, but that's not the company's reason for not employing me, right? It was something else, so I don't really need to belittle myself or start feeling bad I'm not very good. Of course, there's always room for growth, but having these answers also helps me know, okay, it was actually not my fault. I've had such responses where it's about my location. In some other cases where I have asked for replies, I've asked for feedback, they'll tell me, currently we're looking for someone with 5 years of experience and you just have less than two, and we are sorry, but that's a top requirement for us. This also makes me know there is more clarity as to this is not my fault. It is not a determinant of my skills. They're just looking for somebody with more years, as they believe such people have better experience. And they may be right, of course. They can be right most cases. But that is another example. The third example, I've also had responses to my replies to rejection emails where I got more specific feedback. Like, I went through your project and you currently use JavaScript. We didn't see much use of TypeScript, and that is really something that we want. Or in some cases, they're like, you didn't really do so much. We didn't really see so many of your projects. We just saw one or two, and not like they're not nice, but we really want to see more of what you have done. So that was what disqualified you. They give me direct responses like this, and I wouldn't have known this because, of course, not every recruiter would tell you in your first rejection email, this is why. Most times they just tell you, we went on with other applicants who fitted more in our vision and things like that, all of those stories. But having to ask, I got a response that made me know that there are more tools I need to learn to be valuable in the industry. There are more things I need to know. There are more ways I can really be more valuable, basically. And I wouldn't have known this if I didn't ask. So I would recommend to whoever is watching this, I know the application process is tiring. And of course, I don't expect you to ask 100 people who gave you rejection emails. I don't expect you to ask the 100 of them why. What did I do wrong? Of course, there's a place of priority. There are some rejection emails I get, and I'm like, I don't even remember when I applied to you. I just applied because I was applying to a ton of jobs. And there are also some company rejection emails I get where I feel like, no, this company, I really align with their vision. I really meet most of their requirements. So I'm really interested in knowing where exactly I messed up or what exactly the other applicants did better than me. So, of course, it boils down to a place of priority where you may have applied to over 1,000 jobs. But then there are those 50 that you really want to know what went wrong. Asking for feedback helps you feel better, like in my case, in my own experience, but it also helps you know where to grow. It also helps you to know how to be more strategic. Like for me, when I got some of those responses, I knew that, okay, I have to learn more TypeScript so that I can be more, out there in the industry. It's added to my skills. So, I begin to build projects with TypeScript instead of just using JavaScript. This is just an example. There are a ton of examples, but it's based on the feedback that you get, that you know where to grow and what to do. Also, in my case, I started working on project. I felt like, okay, it's true. I actually don't have so many projects that recruiters can see. Time to start working on project, be it open source or just landing pages. There was a time I actually had this website, although I never used it. I had this website where I was just replicating landing pages. I replicate this landing page with just HTML, CSS, no much React. And I just do that to show recruiters that I have CSS skills. So yes, based on the feedback I got, I was able to do this. So this is something I highly recommend. The application process is tiring. I know that. I've been there, and I'll probably still be seeing more of there when I want to go into the market to look for maybe a new opportunity or things like that. But one thing that can really help you is asking for feedback, knowing where exactly you messed up. And like I said, not everyone would reply you. 8 out of 10 may not reply you. But those two kind recruiters out of 10 that reply you can really say things that makes you feel better, that encourages you, and also shows you areas you can improve. So when you get those rejection emails, don't just delete the email. You can be like, really? Why? But if these are companies that you feel like you're a great fit and you are curious to know what went wrong, instead of just guessing in your head like I probably wasn't good enough, you can ask directly, and hopefully the responses they give helps you to improve your application process, to become better in the market, and to also get that amazing job or that amazing opportunity. And that's really it for this video. I know there may be many contrary opinions, everyone has opinions, but I'm just sharing the things that have worked for me. Like I said, that was how I got my first full-time job, asking for feedback and also being persistent, trying to prove myself. You can check out the video I referenced earlier. I'll also leave a link in the video description so you can easily check it out, how I got my first full-time job. But yes, this is my experience. This is something that has worked for me. And while I know this may not work for everyone out there, everyone watching, I know people can actually pick tips from these things that I've said. So that's it. If you found this video helpful, I would love if you like it and you also share it to other people you feel it to be beneficial to. And I'll highly appreciate if you can subscribe. See you in my next video. Peace.